Namaste everyone. Har Har Mahadev. Now today we are going to go ahead with the video of Venus in Revati Nakshatra, where Venus gets exalted. So we are going to understand from each aspect what Venus in Revati would do in your birth chart. All right. So before we move ahead, if you guys are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. Also, if you would like to have your personal readings from me, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmolastrology.com. Under the readings and unique readings section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. For courses, you can check out the courses section and then you can purchase the course that you want to go for. All right, so let's get started with this video. So, Revati Nakshatra is the very, very last nakshatra of this whole zodiac belt. It's ruled by the planet Mercury. Its duration into it spans between 16 degree 40 minutes to 30 degrees of Pisces zodiac sign. All right. So, first of all, what you're going to get to know about in this particular video, it's not just about your spouse. It's not just about how your relationships are going to be, but everything that Venus represents. So, Venus is the natural significator of wealth, luxury, comforts, pleasure. It governs the sign of Taurus and the sign of Libra. So the second house fundamentally and the seventh house fundamentally. So Venus basically is going to represent your relationship with your family, the way you believe in your traditions. The way you connect with a family dynamic, the way you possess things, or what kind of possessions, what kind of luxury, what kind of wealth that you have. It also would represent your income source. So, not just it represents the profession of your spouse to some extent, but 100% it is going to tell you the profession for you. Which profession is going to give you income, the wealth that you will build, the legacy that you will create. Venus also represents the devotion that you have towards something, the kind of balance you bring into your relationships, and what is going to be the theme or your karma associated with relationships since it governs the sign of Libra, and that's the seventh house. So, with Venus, we are not just going to understand the traits of the spouse, the profession of the spouse, the physical appearance of the spouse, but we are also going to experience what your karma is with luxury, money, wealth, family dynamics, and your traditions. All right. Let's first understand that here now we are starting with Venus when Venus is going to be in the zodiac sign of Pisces, where it gets exalted, or where Venus feels as if it has most of the strength, and that's what exaltation means. But I always say that exaltation is not to be studied just on the category that is a planet is exalted, so it has a lot of strength. No, you first need to analyze what is the element, what are the meanings, or what is the kind of situation a zodiac sign is putting a planet into. So that is going to tell you what results you're going to have. So Venus being in the sign of Pisces, here your love language becomes quite dreamy. It becomes quite up in the air. It's like you are on cloud nine once you are in love or once you are in a unionship, once you are in a relationship. Your expectations are way, way higher when you have your Venus in the zodiac sign of Pisces. It's like the dreamland, the dream fairy um, romance you want to experience with this Venus. But does that mean that these people are going to have the easiest love, the easiest relationship? Absolutely not. With a person whose Venus is exalted, please do not misunderstand the fact that they are always going to be having tons and tons amount of money, tons and tons amount of luxury, and a lot of love, very good relationship, best of perfect relationship, dreamy land. It's absolutely not like that. And no marriage is like that. If any marriage, any relationship turns out to be perfect, trust me, there's something deep hidden into it. So, Venus being into the zodiac sign of Pisces, this is a dreamy love that you are expecting in your life. Love is something that you absolutely want. You want to be devoted to someone. You want to be dependent on someone. That's your love language. When you are in love, when you are in a relationship, your life, your soul, your world would surround around the other person. That's what your love is for you. With Venus exalted, whether it's a man or it's a woman, you are the person who is totally dependent on the other person, and you love to be dependent on them. You love to be the one who on whom the other person can depend upon too. You want to build a love that is unimaginable, that is not expected anywhere. And that's the reason that you get hurt the most and the most deeply in love. See, the sign of Pisces. I've been saying that all in all, I think from 2.5 years almost, I've been telling that to you that Pisces is the most dual sign. It's the sign who which is about extreme behavior, extreme things or results, but it's also polar opposite. So Pisces is the sign which can be involved with addiction, or it is a sign which can be involved with oblivionness. So when you have your Venus in the zodiac sign of Pisces, you or your partner are either very, very addicted and devoted towards love and relationship. But if this Venus is afflicted, if this Venus is not getting any support, by any support, I mean there's no planet in the surroundings of Venus. One house behind, one house ahead, or Venus is not conjunct with any planet. See, conjunction would not be considered as support because it adds on a lot of energy to the to this Venus. But if this Venus is not going to have any support on the either side of the house it is in, then also it's not very good. It doesn't give very fruitful results. So if this Venus gets afflicted, it can even give you addiction issues. It can give you addictive uh, qualities, addictive traits. So, with Venus in the zodiac sign of Pisces, a person either indulges into addiction and addiction towards substances, alcohol, any form of addiction should be. Addiction to luxury, addiction to pleasure could even be there. Addiction to sex could even be there, right? Or a person would have the ability to just not be addicted or be just oblivion. Try to run away from everything, run away from the responsibilities. Because 12th house is also the responsibilities or the way a person indulges into responsibilities. And trust me, Venus is not the planet you would want there because Venus knows how to be devoted. It doesn't know how to take the responsibility and act as a initiator, act as a leader there, but rather it knows how to depend. It knows how to be protected and give the protection there. So that's what Venus represents here. Now, if you'll observe, Venus is in the zodiac sign of Jupiter here, the dreamy land of Jupiter, the storytelling of Jupiter, the fantasy world of Jupiter, or the spiritual realm of Jupiter with Pisces. So that's why you can be very, very spiritual, or you may have a partner who is going to be very spiritual in nature. Right. So, another thing, if I say about the partner specifically with Venus in the zodiac sign of Pisces, you may encounter or marry a person who either has addiction issues or who is highly spiritual in nature. With Venus being present into the zodiac sign of Jupiter, it establishes a lot of knowledge. So these people, like you, are going to have a lot of information and knowledge about occult studies, spiritual studies, or deep hidden studies, which could even be associated with medical line, healing line, right? And then it also means that there will always be issues of who knows best within the relationship with Venus in the zodiac sign of Pisces. Is one of the most cautious and most conscious zodiac sign. The planet that rules this nakshatra. So this nakshatra is ruled by Mercury. We have the energy of Venus going into the zodiac sign of Jupiter and into the nakshatra of Mercury. So, first of all, not assuming that Venus is here, but what is about Revati Nakshatra because of the planet ruler. So, it's a combination of Jupiter and Mercury. So, whenever we see Jupiter and Mercury together, it's more of like the Saraswati yoga. It's more of like which gives us the understanding of when intelligence meets wisdom, when fortune means self effort, because Mercury naturally rules the zodiac sign of Gemini or the third house. So it's like that you create your fortune through your self effort. You create your fortune through your own communication, through your own skills. So, Jupiter is not just about wisdom, it's about the fortune as well. But when you have the conjunction of Jupiter and Mercury, or you have Mercury's nakshatra coming into the zodiac sign of Jupiter, then it stands for where you are abundant of knowledge and you are abundant of the skills to create wealth through that knowledge. That is what Revati represents. But one thing I would like to say here, this is a nakshatra that I personally have never understood to the core. I'll definitely agree to that fact. There's no shame in saying that, being an astrologer, because I'm not just an astrologer, I'm a learner of astrologer, so I'm learning every day. But this is a nakshatra which confuses me every time. Revati. So why is that so? This is the last nakshatra. So if Ashwini Nakshatra is karmic. That has the potential because it's like a baby who has just recently started taking steps and is curious to do everything. So that's the first nakshatra, which is full of adventure, full of abundance of karma, abundance of events that a person has to, go through. On the contrary, we have this last nakshatra where the soul is now going to depart from this world, depart from this universe. So it wants to complete every karma that it is supposed to do in this life. It will try to complete and check the 100 boxes of the 100 checklist of the karma it has. So Ashwini and Revati both have strong karmic journey attached to them because one has entered the universe to start experiencing the karma like a curious child, and one has to get all the completion of the karma so that they can escape from this universal loop, from the loop of life. So, this is the nakshatra. I won't consider it to be death and rebirth, but this is the nakshatra which makes you find your path to liberation, your path to spirituality, your path where you are able to be the guiding source for the others. That's what Revati stands for. So when you get Venus here, Venus, the planet of love, devotion, but also wealth and materialism. So, of course, there's duality into this nakshatra. There's duality into this zodiac sign. Venus does gets exalted here. But trust me, the karma for a person with Venus in the nakshatra of Revati is first to be the guiding source to many. Their devotion has to be towards guiding others, helping others. But you know what journey they go through? Because of a nakshatra ruled by Mercury, they will be highly materialistic at one point in life, and that's basically in their adolescence. That's basically when they are young, when they are amateur, immature, whatever. That is the time when they are too materialistic, only to attach themselves to spirituality, to non materialistic self. Because here Venus gets exalted. And which side of Venus takes over? The side of un, you know, unfiltered love, unfiltered devotion, non-exchange devotion, non-exchange, no exchange of love, no exchange of devotion, no materialistic expectation from the other person. That's what Venus creates here. So, being in the nakshatra of Mercury, it makes you extremely intelligent but extremely intuitive first because we have a combination of Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury. These people can be prolific writers. Prolific writers, what do we call it? Whatever the word is. They can be such beautiful philosophers, people who put magic into their work, who put magic into their arts, into their creativity. That's what Venus in Revati stands for. See, with a person with Venus in the Revati, they can struggle with finding the right partner because that's what the story is of, associated with this nakshatra, which we'll come to that when we'll come to the DT part. So, as far as relationship is considered, do not take it this way that Venus is exalted here. So, that's why the relationship has to be beautiful and everything good. No, relationship is going to be the catalyst of your liberation and your spiritual self. Relationship is going to be the catalyst to make you understand that it's not materialism that matters. It's not what you get in the front of you that matters. It's not looks, it's not appearance, it's not money, it's not how much bank balance that the other person has that matters. It's what a person is from the inside. It's the true self of an individual that matters. So, first of all, with Venus in the nakshatra of Revati, in the nakshatra of planet Mercury, these people are quite vigilant. They are quite intelligent and they are extremely extra cautious. So, I always say that Venus being into the zodiac sign of Pisces or the zodiac sign of Pisces has the duality. One is oblivionness, one is addiction. This is a nakshatra. I won't say it's absolutely none, but it's less likely to be oblivion. Because your karma is to understand that you cannot be oblivion in this life. It's your last chance, it's your last resort to get your karma done with your relationship specifically so that you don't have relationship problems in the next life. You will have to help your spouse. You'll have to be the guiding source to your spouse. You'll have to be at a place where you are not the one to be supported, but you have to support your spouse. You have to support every relationship that you have in life. Because Revati is the nurturer. All right. So, with the influence of Mercury, there's observant. They are extremely observant. Even you will find this into your spouse, that your spouse is going to be very observant, very strong feeler, because it's Mercury. There's overthinking, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of skills, there's a lot of intuition present. So those are the traits of you, those are the traits of your spouse. Now coming to the animal. The animal of this nakshatra is the elephant, and that too the female elephant. So the femininity is present in this nakshatra. This nakshatra by far is a very feminine nakshatra. That's why it's very nurturing. You'll see elephants. Elephants are the sweetest animals. They look big, but they have a heart of a human being. They are so deep feelers. Similarly, they might look as harsh, but not, I would say harsh, but they might appear to be not very soft, but they are very soft on the inside. They are very pious on the inside. They might go out and go give those reactions on the outside, but internally, they are always concerned. They are always considerate. If this nakshatra basically gets afflicted, if this Venus basically gets afflicted, then the value of this nakshatra would struggle. So if this gets afflicted, you are prone to jealousy, you're prone to revengeful nature, you're prone to comparison. So, it's said with this nakshatra of Revati, we'll come to the symbols where we are going to discuss this into deeper state, that this nakshatra is about, the symbol is the fishes that revolve, just like Pisces. So it's like the dilemma or the confusion that they go through, where they don't know how to differentiate what between what has passed and where should they initiate with the future. So that's why they are always stuck in the middle. And that's what this will represent. So we'll come to that when we'll come to the symbol so that we are not jumbling the timestamps. But with elephant as the animal, these people can be huge. Like their constitute, their structure, their body can be a little huge. Not plumpy, I would say, as we could have said we will say for Uttar Bhadrapada, but tall. The tallness that comes into Revati, that comes with elephant, but also the nurturing ability also comes with Revati. Now, Revati Nakshatra is closely associated with Lord Ganesha. So they would either have a strong inclination, just like Bharanis, they would have strong inclination towards the Lord Ganesha. and rather they must preach Lord Ganesha for the betterment of their relationships, their wealth, and their stability in finances and relationships. Now, this particular nakshatra with the association of elephant also shows that they can experience issues with teeth. In regards of your spouse, you would see that they would have larger set of teeth, long teeth, and they can also experience certain problems in regards of their tooth or teeth. And even in the age of 25 or 26, as early as that, you may experience issues with your roots, root canal, or your teeth, some issues that would be there with the teeth or whenever Venus gets activated for you. All right. So the nourishment of elephant comes in, but also the unpredictability and uncertainty of the aggression of an elephant would also come in. All right. So this is also a nakshatra and a zodiac sign, definitely, which has issues with dependability, dependence upon others. But here, the dependence is in regards to finding the right path in life, whether that path is of their career or that path is related to finding the suitable match of their life. So dependability and abandonment issues are somewhere which are seen within this nakshatra, because you will see that a female elephant, and it is actually with all the mothers, but especially because of the feminine nature of this nakshatra, a female elephant would be crazy when they are left away from their baby elephants, or their baby elephants are just lost. They would just wander here and there to find them. That's the similar protective nature that you will see with a Revati individual. You are protective over your relationships, but you're protective over your money matters also. You're protective over your family members also. Only the condition is that this should not be afflicted. If this is afflicted, that protection comes as the restricted boundary that holds a person very deeply, and that is more forceful in nature. Like, for example, if you have Mars conjunct here in Revati, if you have maybe Saturn conjunct here in Revati, but it's not pure dominance with Saturn, but with Mars, absolutely pure dominance, pure, deep passion and deep, uh, forceful protectiveness that also comes around here. All right. Now, next we have the deity of this nakshatra, which is Pushan. So, Pushan is said to be the lord or the protector of flocks and herds, the protector of the cattle, the protector of the animals. So, first of all, the very first thing where I would also like to give you an example, I know of a person with Revati as their ascendant, with Moon and Jupiter in the 12th house in Aquarius. And the nakshatra, I don't remember. I think it's a mix of Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada, but this is an individual who never in their life has find that inclination towards protecting animals or protecting environment, but eventually one event after another, they came towards a profession ultimately where now they are a lawyer of who fights for what is the wrongdoings towards the environment and towards the animals. So, welfare of the society, welfare towards the animals, and especially the environment. So, you will see a lot of environmentalists. You will see a lot of people who actually are connected to the environment, who are connected to the animals, or who fight for them as well. Because their devotion, their selfless devotion goes towards protection, towards protecting the animals, towards protecting the environment also. And also, you'll see that most of the times that the flock of sheep, the cattle, the herds, you will see in the within the mountains. So these people have a strong inclination with the hills and the mountains. And also on the other side of it, this is a nakshatra associated with lighthouses also. And the lights also, like traffic lights. So that's why and also Pushan is the deity that gives you direction. It's the god of the lost animals, it's the god of the lost objects, and it's also the navigator, the the deity, the god that navigates you like a Google map towards your destination because it is the last nakshatra. So similarly, with this nakshatra, you can see traffic policemen or police women. You can see people who basically help others to navigate. You can see travelers with this particular nakshatra, especially Venus in this nakshatra, because it's the income source. You can even see the travel guides through this nakshatra. So, with Pushan as the deity, one of the 12 Adityas, he is here to guide you towards your destination. In your previous life, you have been the one to receive the guidance when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your marriage, and your career as well, your income source or your wealth as well, your family dynamics as well. Previously, in your previous life, there were people who came to guide you because of the amount of confusion and problems that you have had. But in this life, you are the guiding source because of the intelligence which comes with Mercury, because of the wisdom that comes with Jupiter, because of the devotion and fortune that comes with Venus and Jupiter. So, in this life, you have to be the guiding source to your family. You have to be the guiding source to your partners. And even you would see, as a result, your partner would become a person who would be the guiding source to the others. When it's about them, they might not know what to do, they might get totally confused, totally on the crossroads. But when it's the pedestal to be on, to be a philosopher or the guiding source to others, they would be extremely great. That's what Revati represents. But let's talk about the story that is attached with Princess Revati. So, Princess Revati was actually very tall in height, because of which the Princess Revati and her father had to go to Brahma, to the Brahmalok, and ask them to help them out that who can be the suitable match for the princess, because all the people present in the kingdom were mostly short-heighted. So for that reason, they go to the Brahmalok and they see that Brahma is sleeping currently. So they wait for Brahma to wake up. And when he wakes up, they tell them their problem. And to their surprise, Brahma tells them that in Brahmalok, the time goes by really, really slowly. And for that reason, for the time span that they have waited, which might just be a little time for them, but it has gone into yugas, one yuga after another on the earth. So, because of that, whenever they'll go back, their kingdom would have been vanished. Now they're no longer just the shorter individuals or shorter people that they have to choose among. So he thought of suggesting that Balaram, the brother of Lord Krishna is the best suitable match for the princess. And that's why they go on the earth and Balaram marries the princess Revati, but he tries to shorten the height of Princess Revati with the plow. So this nakshatra with Venus has a strong association with Krishna and also Jesus Christ. So with the association of Krishna, it is always evident that these people have devotion, or they are the preachers of Lord Krishna, and rather they should be the preachers of Lord Krishna as well for the prosperity of their relationships. All right. So that's the story of Princess Revati that attaches to this nakshatra. And as the reason of this story, these people struggle with. They have something that goes on with their marriage signification. Even if a person has Venus in the last degrees, like from 16 degree 40 minutes to 30 degrees within the 12th house in any zodiac sign, but within the 12th house, even they would experience this problem where they would always have some physical thing that is a matter of fact within the association, within the marriage thing. Like, for example, they might have a very short height and they might not be able to get the right partner. Or they might be of very tall height and they might not be able to get the right partner. So it's not just subject to that they are going to be just tall. Because trust me or not, I can recall two cases in my mind where one person has a Revati ascendant. No, actually, they have Pisces ascendant with Uttara Bhadrapada ascendant. So the height is quite short, like very short. I think it's 4'11". That's a girl. And they have Mars in the ascendant. I think so. No, it's Saturn in the ascendant. Sorry. Saturn in the ascendant in Revati. And this person is struggling for the choices of marriage because their height is way shorter. So that's why they're not getting the suitable partner. And that's why the marriage is being delayed. Another case that I remember is, I think, of a Capricorn rising with third house as Pisces. And there is Moon, Venus, and Ketu. And I think Venus and Ketu are in Revati. And this person has also struggled with the choice of marriage because they have very small height. And this is a male. This is the chart of a male. And in this case, I think Moon is also in Revati because the seventh Lord, I remember completely, seventh Lord is Moon, and that is also in Revati. So it's not that they themselves are taller, it's just that they are having issues in regards of height. And one of the partners will have a very short height, another partner would have a little bit of, height, which is a little bit taller than them. Or one person is very tall and is experiencing problem because they are very tall and they are not able to get a suitable match there also. So that's the kind of issue that comes with a Revati person, and especially when Venus is in Revati or the seventh lord is in Revati. All right. Now, next we are done with the animal, we are done with the deity. Now we have the symbols. So there are two symbols of this nakshatra. One is drum, which is also said to be the damaru that the Lord Shiva has in his hand. So that shows the Tandav nature of this nakshatra, the association with music, the ability to be drunken in music. That's the kind it shows with Venus and Revati in this nakshatra. So it's drum, first of all. So when drum is the symbol of the any nakshatra, nothing goes peaceful into that nakshatra. So that means there's always some disturbances, there's always some beats that this person is going around with. And that's what it represents. But in ancient times and also nowadays as well, with all that, culture coming again, people adapting the older culture, the traditional culture, there are many people, they actually do it. Trust me on this. So whenever there was an arrival of someone, departure of someone, or some sorry, not celebrity, but celebratory movements, then the drums were used as in a symbol of happiness. So that's what attaches to this nakshatra. This nakshatra is to celebrate all the happiness and even the sadness within this realm. Because it's the last nakshatra and now you are going to escape. So you have to go through that intense arrival, intense transformation, intense departure. So, whatever they have experienced in their life, they will be able to guide others with that by becoming a speaker, becoming a public speaker, becoming a guiding source, or even by becoming a healer or maybe a life coach. That's what Venus in this nakshatra represents. And one of the greatest thing with this nakshatra is this is a nakshatra of doctors. Because Pushan being the deity of guiding you towards your destination, guiding you with your solutions, that what it represents. So Venus being the significator of your income, significator of the legacy that you create, that also comes with healing domains. And Pisces is the 12th house. That's the house of hospitals. That's the house which is connected with morgues, with the places where people die, the the cremation grounds. And one more thing I've seen with this nakshatra, this is not regarding the symbol, I would say, but with this nakshatra, I've seen people to be there, like these are the most independent people you'll see, just like Ashwini. They don't like to be restricted. They don't like to be bounded because it's the last nakshatra. Escapism. But escapism after completion of their tasks. So they do not like to be burdened. They do not like to be put forceful responsibility upon. So in your marriage, in your relationship, you have to set your partner free. The more you'll try to restrict your partner, the more your partner will push you away, or push away themselves from this relationship. And rather, any relationship in your life is subject to freedom. You have to give freedom as well, and you are the one to receive the freedom as well. You don't do well in restrictive environment. You don't do well when burden is added onto your mind. That's why it's an entrepreneurship skill. It's a intuitive skill. It's a creative self. All right. So Revati, Venus is in Revati is by far the most creative placement that you will see. The creation that has free form, that doesn't have any organization, that doesn't have any structure until unless Saturn is put here. Then your karma is to suppress yourself into structure. All right. The another symbol of this nakshatra is the fishes. So the fishes represents the confusion. Fishes represents the dilemma or the crossroads between two decisions. So when is it's the time for you to get married, you'll always be confused between two matches, between two people. When it's about opting for a career, you'll be confused into two career options. When it's about investing your money somewhere, you'll be confused into two different options. So it's like you have to take a decision. But Venus and Revati, you don't do well when you're put into a stage or into a situation where you have to take quick decisions. Although this is the nakshatra ruled by Mercury, but still they do things at their own pace. Fishes, they are extra vigilant. They are extra cautious. You even touch an aquarium, and the fish that is nearby, not even just close to it, but nearby, would react to it. That's the reactive self that you will see with this nakshatra. In love, in relationship, you have immense amount of expectations. You are quick to react within relationships, but there's always a dilemma that you have in relationships, that whether to opt for what is required for you to survive in this realm, or to just go with your devotion. So this is going to be an individual who's going to feel confused whether to choose love or to choose wealth when it comes to love and relationship in their life. And even your partners will go through this confusion, because the fishes, they show the cautiousness, but they also show the confusion. They also show intuitiveness. They also show going round and round in circles. So it's like a never ending loop until unless you understand the lesson. That's what completely this stands for. So we are done with the symbol also. Now let's talk about the appearance of your spouse. Then we would go by the traits and the possible professions that can be for you and your spouse. Then we'll also go for remedies. So with the appearance, if your seventh lord is in Revati, if your Venus is your seventh lord and that is in Revati, if your Dharakarka is Venus and that is in Revati, or you just have Venus in Revati, your partner can be tall heighted. You have to see the complete aspect of the seventh lord, the Venus. And if you are a female, you have to check your Jupiter and Mars as well. They will have long face, long teeth, and height is actually subjective, so I wouldn't 100% say that. But they have a very, very attractive, optimistic look within their appearance. They are very active. They are very reactive. You'll see them talking to you as if you have met them, like you know them from ages. That is the kind of communication they can build. And excellent marketers, excellent salesperson, excellent skills they have. All right. So I've gotten into the traits without concluding the appearance, but I think for the appearance right now, I can just say that they would have an appearance which is, long face, long teeth, even long nose, and a slim one. Not a broader one, just like other nakshatras and Pisces have, but rather a slim one, a very sleek one. But it's more like oval, it's more like egg shaped. Traits wise, they are very, very helpful, very communicative, very observant, extremely intelligent, quick to react, but not quick at making decisions. They are protectors, they are nurturers. With the profession, they do absolutely great into, actually, with the malefics attached to this Venus, they can be into they can be policemen or police women. They can be traffic policemen or traffic police women. They can be somewhere around or associated with lighthouses or where lights are being operated. So, electricity related work can even be there. They can be healers, they can be doctors, surgeons, and they can be spiritual leaders as well. Even you can have these choices of professions. Then remedies is first of all to preach Lord Ganesha, Lord Krishna, and the deity Pushan. Also to offer soft food to Pushan because it's said that Pushan, I think it was Lord Shiva, I guess, who basically um, punched Pushan, because of which his teeth, I think it was Lord Shiva, I don't remember clearly, but it was Lord Shiva who punched Pushan, because of which the teeth got dismantled. And that's why you offer soft food, like you offer curd rice, soft curd rice to Pushan. You offer porridge to kheer to Pushan. Especially with Venus, you have to have the sweeter element, and that too, which looks white. Even milk can be a part of it. So if you offer that on Fridays specifically, it's great for your wealth. It's great for the stability within your family life, within your marriage as well, and even any problem that your uh people, your family is going through, or your legacy or lineage is going through, you can offer this on alternative Fridays for like 40 days, whatever Fridays come within, it's 4 or 5, you can do that as a part of remedial measure. And the second one would be to have an aquarium in north, or yeah, in the north of your home, having fishes in that aquarium. And I think that's very evident that if you have an aquarium, you're going to have fishes also, but you need to take care of them. You need to treat them, nurture them as your own babies. All right. So that's what I had with Venus in the nakshatra of Revati. I hope this has given you good insights into this particular placement. But do not stop here. If you want to learn astrology, just know that it's hard to conclude, um, it's anything about a nakshatra in or anything about a placement in just one video. There's always more and more that will come to it because it's a never-ending knowledge. All right, guys. So we'll see you with the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.